Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So it's time for Tuesday's podcast. It is Tuesday, June 13th, and we are going to enjoy this quick podcast. I appreciate everybody out there that always joins me live and helps support the channel. And just a real quick, you guys are awesome because you are boosting me well on the road to 2,000 subs here on my Tuesday's podcast. And so I'm trying to get this podcast full blown, man. I want to go all in with it. I want to do almost like a radio show, I want to really get this ball rolling. And, you have to build yourself. You got to crawl before you walk. And all the blogs that you see here and all the things on this podcast that you'll see in the future. And currently I try to tackle real world things. I just have general discussions about tech. And then also real life things, just how you handle yourself online and just different subjects. It's never just going to be specifically about a specific device or something like that. I try to reach a broader audience. And so I think just general conversation. I mean, my website is Smartphone Conversations. So the word conversation should give you some kind of hint of how my podcast might be. And if you've been following me on YouTube and on social media, you kind of know where my direction is. But that could change at any moment. But the title of this one is Don't Let Them Get You Worked Up. Don't let them get to you. And I say this towards no particular group or anything, but online, not just YouTube, everywhere online, we're learning that every day that there's just a certain group of people out there whose sole purpose is to try to get you worked up. This is going to happen. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You cannot stop a person from being who they are, and you cannot stop a person from saying what they want to say. It's just not possible. You cannot do it. So don't waste your time trying to stop them. The only thing that you can do online is keep control of yourself. Now, when you're in a forum or when you're in YouTube comments or when you're anywhere on social media, you are going to run into people who are going to do a couple of things. Some of them might call you a hater. Some of them might say you're trolling. Some of them might say you're biased. There's just a ton of different names that you'll be called if you're online in some kind of social media setting or form. You don't even have to be the content creator. You could just be someone commenting on something that's going on online. And if those people disagree with you, then you'll be called names, and you just kind of take that and brush it off. But one thing I've learned about being in the tech world, and I've been in the tech world my entire life, even though my background, is more law enforcement. I did go to college for micro applications when I was a younger gentleman. And so I worked for Texas Instrument. I worked for Samsung. I worked for IBM. I worked for a lot of different tech companies when I got out of the military before I got into riot control. I was in between jobs, in between careers when I was younger. And I've learned that the reason that some of these things might happen, the reason that there's so much anger or there's just so much, first, is people are really passionate about getting their point across. Now, as a content creator, we do kind of have the upper hand because we're sitting in front of the camera and we're putting out our opinions. And so when I say we might have the slight upper hand is we can just block or ignore people if we disagree with them. Now, that would be unethical, obviously, but when people start to get out of hand, and I think it's probably necessary to take, the next steps. But if you're just a person online and you're commenting on something, there's absolutely no reason why your comments should not be respected. Whether someone agrees with you or not, some people throw around that term loosely. We've all done it, agree to disagree. When in all actuality, we just don't like what's going on in the situation. And, we're just going to say, instead of a big fight breaking out, we're just going to walk away. Really, that's what agree to disagree means. But in the tech world, I've learned that when a person is passionate, if they are truly passionate about what they want to get across to the world or to the tech community, they will stop at nothing. Now, currently online, there's absolutely no hiding it. Currently online, the HTC U11 is the hotspot right now. It's the phone that everybody's talking about. And Samsung fans are getting upset about that. And the reason I'm calling out Samsung fans is because they're the ones who's acting out at this point. They're the ones that's going to videos, particularly my videos and several other people's videos, and trolling and saying things like, this is garbage and things like that. And, it's kind of played out at this point. You just kind of got to ignore them. And again, I'm a Samsung fan, but I'm a different kind of Samsung fan. I'm not going to be loyal to just Samsung. I'm going to have fun with all this tech. And shout out to Brad. He gets his HTC U11 tomorrow. You're going to enjoy it, Brad. Trust me. He's in the live chat here on the podcast. But unfortunately, I don't see any other bad things coming from any other fan base. I don't see iPhone users jumping on videos for the HTC saying, oh, it's trash. I don't see LG people jumping on videos saying, oh, it's horrible. And I'm just using this as an example because this is what's going on right now. If you go to any other videos I have posted on the HTC U11 or the Ultra, it's just Samsung people on there. People who are loyal to Samsung trashing it, saying, this is garbage. You don't know what you're talking about. This phone is trash. And they're just straight up all in their feelings because, it's so weird. I don't know if they know it or not, but I used my S8 Plus and my Samsung S7 to record I just transitioned to the S8 Plus, but the S7 is one of my top devices. So that's why I don't take them serious. I just kind of ignore them. They call me a hater. You're a Samsung. The hate is real. Really, unfortunately, all that type of drama currently at the moment is just coming from people who own Samsung products. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Was having a conversation last night in the Telegram group, and basically what it boils down to is everybody's entitled to their own opinion about something. We should always respect the other man or woman's opinion. We don't have to agree with it, but when you start lashing out with anger and just name calling like 5-year-olds, what does that say about you as a person online attacking other people? It's bad enough that you're online and then you're bringing forth this ugly sense of, I don't like myself, so I'm just going to trash other people. Shout out to Otech. He posted something on his Instagram that I get all the time, and I deleted most of it, and nearly 100% of the time I delete it. And I've shared some of those things on there. It was just somebody saying something really ugly that had nothing to do with tech. And the tides of tech in the tech communities, they change. A new product is going to come out. Like right now, I'm doing this podcast directly from my S8 Plus. Listen, I'm trying to get all my money's worth out of these phones and devices because I paid $893 for this S8 Plus. I'm going to use it for anything I can see fit to use it for. It's a hot phone. But somebody said, Jay, you can't please everyone. Well, obviously I know that. You can't please everyone. And I'm not trying to please everyone. When I jump online, I'm just throwing it out there and giving my views on some things, and then let's get the conversation going. But I've learned here lately that some people just aren't mature enough to have an adult conversation, and that's just what it is. So when I titled this, Don't Let Them Get You Worked Up, that's exactly what I'm saying. We have to learn to enjoy technology because the fact of the matter is, and I've said this in other videos and podcasts, if YouTube stops paying us to do videos, if ad revenue goes away, and everything else just continues, how many of your favorite YouTubers will continue? Pause. See, the thing about a lot of people online are so eager to hear that what they have is the best. Their only way to talk to other people when they disagree or say something negative about what they own, and this all goes back to people validating their purchase. I've done plenty of podcasts and videos on this. Stop trying to validate your purchase. It is not necessary. If you enjoy the S8 and you think it's the best, if you enjoy the 3T and you think it's the best, if you enjoy the S8 and you think it's the best, if you enjoy the Axon, the G6, the U11, the Ultra, the everything, if you enjoy these Moto G5 Plus, that's a bang 'em up phone and I really like that phone. If you enjoy whatever product you have, why are you going to other videos telling everybody else to not buy something that you don't have or to trash something that you don't have? When people start to do that, you can already get the sense of how mature they are. I don't care if this is online or not. People are displaying how mature they are. They're just typing it. So when I say don't let them get you worked up, Don't let them get you worked up. Enjoy your tech. Enjoy having fun with what you like. There's plenty of people who, now I'm not saying it's all Samsung fans when I made that comment earlier, because it's not. There are plenty of people who have commented on the videos that I put out. And if you notice, there's a pattern here. Every time a new phone comes out, we all start to review it. We as content creators, we start to review it and we give our attention to those phones. That is when the real silly immatureness comes out, because we're moving on from something that was blowing up the industry. The S8 was blowing it up. It's blowing up the spot. That time is past. The hype is over behind the S8. People are just using the phones now, and everybody's moving on to the next best thing, which currently is the U11. Everybody can deny that all you want to and bring up sales. Oh, it's not going to sell very well. Who cares about that? Enjoy your tech. So don't let them get you worked up. If you are in a conversation with somebody and they just, you'll know immediately how mature they are and how they're going to handle the conversation as soon as they start talking. When a person can't make a valid point on something and they just start throwing insults, or their only response is, oh, this is stupid, or this is dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, that lets you know what type of person you're dealing with right there. So then in your response, you know to limit your response or to respond a certain way. You know this. I got a comment from Brad here. Let's see, let me get my glasses, Brad, before we get going here. Brad says, I bet some of the haters are upset because they secretly want the phone and they are hating on it. You know, Brad, I kind of agree with that, because a lot of times a person will say, well, I went to the store and I used it. You know, it was all right, but I'm sticking with this. Or I went to the store, I went to Best Buy and I used it. I've done that before. I did that with the S8 Plus. I went to Best Buy before the phones launched. I ordered both. Then when I got to Best Buy, I didn't like the feel of the S8 Plus. I thought it was too tall. So I came back and canceled my order, and I said, I'm going to use the S8 first, and then I'm going to basically just wait until the unlocked version comes out. But when I did that, I can tell you, man, so many people slammed me and said, oh, now you like the S8 Plus. You trashed it before. You know, yeah, shout out to Jason Gill. He said, buyer's envy. I don't disagree. I think a lot of times, because and also an advantage that a content creator has is we have a way, since we make money on YouTube. At least I'm a transparent content creator when it comes to the money portion. I've said it a billion times. You guys watch the videos. I make some money from ad revenue. I buy more stuff and keep the channel going. That's just how it works. And a lot of times I'm not making that much money on YouTube. So if you think about what the products that I'm bringing in, you know that I'm not making that much money on YouTube. So put two and two together and know that I'm coming out of pocket for this stuff. So, you know, when I say don't let them get you worked up, there's some, I really like that buyer's envy. And then the other, Brad says, you know, they just really want to secretly have it, but they've been so open and vocal about trashing it or saying that it's not good, trying to compare it to what they currently have. It's just kind of a sad case to where they're not going to get it. They're just going to stick with that instead of saying, okay, well, I really did like it, but I've changed my mind about things as well. Shout out to Chris. He says, do you think all those people would buy the Samsung phones if they didn't have AMOLED screens? I don't know, because that's kind of a subjective thing. I prefer AMOLED displays, but I got to tell you, the U11 and several other phones that are LCDs look like AMOLED displays. My Ultra can pass for an AMOLED display. And, you know, I put the U11 next to the OnePlus 3T, and people were like, whoa, that somebody said, whoa, that U11 is beautiful. It's beating out that AMOLED display. And I don't disagree. The times in tech like this, when it slows down and everybody starts calling the content creators haters, I get called a hater every few minutes. I get at least, I can't even count the notifications that go off. 500-600, maybe 2,000-3,000 notifications a day minimum. And I'm not worried about a person calling me a hater. I'm not worried about that, because they're typing something over the internet and I don't take them serious, especially if they don't have all the things that they're commenting on, and they haven't been using it for a month or two, as long as I have. I don't take them serious. But nonetheless, the time is coming, guys. We're running up on our 15-minute mark. And again, I do promise you that I'm going to go full time with the podcast, and I will give you longer podcasts. I know I've been saying that for a while, but again, I've been transparent too. I'm using up my free time. I've got free time. So they come in 15-minute increments, and I don't want to do multiple podcasts in the same day. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday for Tuesday's podcast. Remember, do not let them get you worked up in comments, man, or online in forums. Do not do it. It's your man, Jay Will, Tuesday's podcast. If you're catching this live, I appreciate everybody who joins me live. catching on the replay. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Next Tuesday is going to be good. Trust me.